applause to you. And you know who you are because you're watching this video and I'm getting ready to make it about you. So, this morning I get a phone call and it's Larry Whitaker. He goes, "Hey Brian, I got a problem. Heard through reliable source that Ray passed away. And Betty's over here crying and we're all upset. The whole family's just in turmoil. I need your help." And I'm like, "Okay, I got you. Give me a few minutes, let me make some phone calls and I'll see what I can do." So in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I wonder if these people are like seeing some like old content that was clickbait, like, you know, Ray passed away or whatever. I don't know if you guys remember that. I do, clearly. So I'm thinking in the back of my mind that might be what this is. So I'm like, let me just check, make sure. Rather than shutting it down, let me make sure. So I call 2 or 3 of my reliable sources and I'm like, "Hey, this is what Larry called me and said this morning. This is what's going on. Betty's upset. She's in the background crying. The whole family's messed up right now. And they're asking me to get to the bottom of it," because he said he had already called 2 or 3 places this morning. And I think they were having a hard time understanding Larry because, you know, he has a very like distinctive dialogue, right? Or dialect. It's sometimes hard to understand what Larry's saying. So I call these few places and I'm like, "Hey, I need you to put some feelers out. I need you to find out if everything's okay with Ray or not, because this is what he's being told." About 45 minutes later, I get some phone calls back. Ray's all right. Everything's cool. I'm like, all right. So, source of information. The source of information came from a person who is a very prominent business owner, local, that grew up around Larry and Betty down in the holler, okay? And then he climbed out of the holler, went and did something better for himself, and now he's a very prominent business owner. Well-respected man, okay? His information came from someone watching a video that said Ray passed away. And then in further investigation or further scrolling, not on like that exact person's reels, but like saw that reel and was like, watched it, and Facebook says, well, we'll feed them more of that content or that person. So scroll your boat, and it's like, oh yeah, I've got reliable connection because a friend of mine works over at blah blah blah, and they said Ray was gaining weight and whatever. So this person watched those videos, and they're elderly, and they don't understand what's going on. They don't understand all this clickbait crap and all this stealing content and cropping and clipping and, you know, getting 8.7 million views in the last couple months off of, you know, other people's content. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, so that person called prominent business owner that grew up with the Whitakers and was like, "I just watched a video that said Ray passed away. And I just watched a video from said person that was very reliable that, you know, Ray was okay previously, and now that, you know," so they didn't know how to like put 2 and 2 together. And so they just called him and was like, "Hey, we got an issue." And then he called and was like, "Hey, we got an issue." And so this right here, folks, is a prime example of how important it is to put reliable, honest content out. Okay, now I know you guys have kicked me since day one, like, "Oh, you're doing this wrong." And so from here forward, we're making positive content, okay? Unless it's bad news. If I got to give you bad news, I got to give you bad news. It is what it is. But I'm making positive content. I'm not on here to like kick and bash and bag and everything. We're not doing that anymore. From here forward, it's either going to be funny shit, or it's going to be positive, or it's going to be like uplifting or whatever, okay? Even though this is a little bit of a shitty video, I'm still trying to make a positive out of it, okay? Because I spent like 3 hours, 2 hours making phone calls, calling people going, "Hey, what the hell? Who, blah, 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 blah." And then, you know, I was like ready to three-way Larry so he could like verify who he was with APS and be like, "Yeah, like, you know, I'll speak, you know, very clearly for you guys and tell you what's going on." But once we found out that the information came from some videos that someone watched on either TikTok or Facebook or what have you from a particular person, I was upset. At that point, I was upset, and I was like, this is some bull hockey. You know what? Y'all know what bull hockey is? All right. So, It's very important that you guys put out positive, honest content, because that rage bait, clickbait bullshit that person put out caused Larry and Betty to have a very morning, okay? Because could you imagine, put yourself in their shoes for just a few minutes and be like, let me go get in them shoes. Let me get into them baby sharks real quick and just see how I would feel. And yeah, I put myself in their shoes. Because I was thinking to myself, if someone that I like trust and I'm like really cool with and I've known all my life called me and was like,
hey, got bad news. Your pawpaw passed away this morning. Yeah, Susie was watching a video and this person seems to be pretty trustworthy and she seems to know what she's talking about. And said Ray passed away. And then, previous videos said he was gaining weight and everything.
how would you feel? I mean, really, how would you feel? Put yourself in that situation for just a second and be like, you know what? Is it worth the little 50 or $100 that you made off of that clickbait video? And is it worth the little couple $100 you made off of clipping my shit and putting it all over the internet? I mean, like, is it really worth it? Is clickbait and false information, and is it really worth it? Guys, positive note, because all these phone calls were made and we finally talked to the right person, guess what? Larry and Betty have a visitation coming up. It's a meeting to establish visitation for the family, and that's the first step. So you guys stay tuned, because we're going to make this happen. We are going to make it work. We're going to bring a positive out of this, and we're going to do something. And if you don't like it, guess what? You'll come go, whoop, and go bye-bye. You go bye-bye. You leave a comment on the little comment section down below. Y'all know what I mean? Just say. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Don't worry. Hey, look, that's just a consequence for all this. You know what I mean? It don't come easy, and it don't come free. Stop putting rage and clickbait out there, homie.